It's Book Saturday, where I share a couple books that I've read, encourage you to do more reading. That's the topic of today's Coffee with Alain. We have a second helping of Chicken Soup for the Soul and The Male Body, an Owner's Manual. Those are two books I'm going to talk about this morning. Appreciate everybody that joins. Appreciate everybody that watches later on replays or listens to the podcast. Thank you to everyone. I'm drinking out of Think of the Happiest Things mug with Peter Pan on there flying through the air with the other kids. It's trying to think of happy thoughts and happiest things because I haven't had the best few weeks lately here, trying to get healthy again so we can drive on. But we always have to think happiest things, good thoughts, positivity that will help you heal, that will help make things better. That's what I'm doing, trying to do that. Also, Peter Pan was a book, so that fits with the Book Saturday. And something else you should be reading, the ebook, How to Stay Safe in This Crazy World. Go to enjoylifesafely.com, download that ebook. It's short, it's simple, but it's filled with things that are practical to help keep you and your loved ones safe. That's what I designed it for. So you could get some immediate principles and strategies to stay safe. You can go deeper with it if you go to the course. Costs you less than the price of a pizza that you might buy tonight. You'll also get the newsletter. Goes out every weekend. More tips on self-defense, safety, enjoying life, and being exceptional. So make sure you're reading that so you can just enjoy more of life and stay safe. Dixon asks, what's up with my wrist? I don't know yet, Dixon. I hopefully will know more Monday when I can finally get into the surgeon. So I'm waiting. We'll see what happens on Monday. The doctor took the x-rays a couple weeks ago, thinks may need surgery, but I haven't been able to get into the surgeon. And that's a story for a different day that might surprise people about how sometimes veterans are treated and so forth. But we won't talk about that today, but hopefully no more Monday. Appreciate you asking. Let's talk about the books we got today. The Male Body, an Owner's Manual, published by Men's Health. And this book has a little about a lot. And what I mean by that is every part of your body is covered in this book. So it really is an owner's manual. And there's just a little bit about everything. Part one talks a little bit about just general health, nutrition, body shape, energy, emotions, stress, sex, symptoms, medical tests, pain, sports injury, sleep, plastic surgery. Part two goes into the body parts, and it goes from A to W. Achilles, tendons, Adam's apple, keeps going through hair, hands, ribs, everything all the way to wrists. Okay, so it just covers all sorts of your body parts, everything for men's body parts. Remember, this is the male body, so it's covering specifically men body parts. So women, you wouldn't want this book unless you want to know more about men and their bodies. And then part three just goes into some basic fitness and some real basic workouts and stuff. I like reading books about health and fitness and about the body just to know more so you can stay in shape and you can enjoy more of life. And I really believe that Jim Rohn was right on point when he said, don't read one book about fitness, read a few, at least two or more, and incorporate the best ideas for you and your lifestyle and what you can do. And so this was a quick, easy read and just learning more about the body. A lot of it I already knew. Some of it I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And so always want to stay up on your health and fitness. And I just like reading about stuff like that. And so had this on the shelf and worked it in, and it was an enjoyable little read. I encourage you to read more on health and fitness and longevity if you plan on living a long time, being fit, being healthy, and enjoying those years. Second book, a second helping of Chicken Soup for the Soul. As I told you a couple weeks ago, I had a number of these books on the shelf, read the first one, donated it. Now I just finished reading this one. After I share a story out of this on one of the upcoming Coffee with Alain's, I'll donate this. if you're not familiar with these, I mean, they were super popular when they first came out a number of years ago. Doesn't make them any less today reading them. They're heartwarming, feel good type of stories. Some of them might even make your eyes sweat a little bit. And it's just nice to read some positivity and some uplifting type stories. Get a little bit of motivation, a little bit of encouragement, maybe a little bit of empathy for people that are maybe going through harder times than you. I mean, I'm reading this with a hurt wrist, waiting to see the surgeon. But when I read some of these stories about difficulties and physical challenges that others went through, I'm like, yeah, my wrist is nothing compared to what they did. And so it's uplifting and motivational in those aspects. And so I enjoy these books. And again, they're pretty moving at times when you think about what some people have gone through and did and so forth. And so I do recommend these if you want just a light, uplifting type reading, make you feel good. The stories are short, so you could read them just one a day or a couple a day, however you wanted to space those out to get that little bit of motivation. Good morning, Samuel. Appreciate you being here and saying good morning. And Dixon says, eye sweat sounds a lot like tears to me. No, Dixon, you know, us tough guys don't cry. Our eyes sweat sometimes watching a sensitive movie or reading a sensitive story. But, you know, we don't cry, right? Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to sign off. You know, speaking of movies, it's not a real sensitive movie, but wife and I got tickets to go see The Accountant 2 today. Been looking forward to that. We both like the first Accountant. This one looks even more action-packed. So we're going to go see Accountant 2 this afternoon, and I'll talk about it on an upcoming Coffee with Alain. Not sure exactly what day yet, but I will be talking about Accountant 2 in the near future. Go out, make it a spectacular Saturday. Remember to read something. Read a book, read the newsletter, read How to Stay Safe in This Crazy World. Read for education, read for enjoyment, just read. We'll see you tomorrow.